I'd like to propose a solution to the problem of Tibet and China. It's a solution that's actually been used before in Western history, and it provides a way forward for China and the Dalai Lama. The solution, as we know, cannot be one-sided. China wants modernization, so do the Tibetans, especially the Tibetan youth. They want to have the advantages of modernization. Tibet, however, wants self-determination. At this point, independence is just not an option. It can't happen. It can't be done militarily. It can't be done in any other way. Nobody wants cultural genocide, not the Chinese, not anybody in the world. The example of that was what was done with the American Indians, which was somewhat comparable to the situation that Tibetans have found themselves in. The solution is for Tibetan Buddhist Vatican sites to be designated. What am I talking about? Well, in the 14th century, as religion battled with secular powers for sovereignty, the papal states were formed, and the Vatican and the papal states were ruled by the Pope, and they had political sovereignty in those states. And later on, when the states were dissolved and Garibaldi's revolution came about and modern Italy was built, there was a very big compromise. The Vatican was confined to its walls in Vatican City, over which it still has sovereignty. And that was the compromise that was made. Now, the Catholics no longer have political power, at least they're not supposed to, but they do have tremendous economic power and influence in the world. And they did retain sovereignty within Vatican City, although they are subject, like American Indians are, to other kinds of considerations. The Tibetan Potala and a network of other sacred sites and monasteries and libraries could be set up in the same way. An example was the American Indian land sovereignty issues, where Indian law prevails on Indian land, etc. However, they're American citizens and they must follow the rules of American sovereignty. Now, there would be tremendous benefit to the Tibetans and to the Chinese by doing this kind of thing. To Tibet, there would be Buddhist reserves that would preserve and develop the unique cultural development that exists there without repression. To China, it would retain the same sovereignty as the U.S. government retains over American Indians, while regaining world respect and while the Indians have their own sovereignty over their own culture. To both, they could develop very profitable world tourism dollars. They could preserve unique historical sites. In China, for example, already Taoist and other sites, temples and so on, have been preserved as museums and are tremendous tourist sites that people come to, the Temple of Heaven and Shaolin temples, the great terracotta warriors near Qian, and so on. The person who should do this, who should broker this deal, should be Hillary Clinton. It should be the United States who uses its power and influence to do this. So she can broker this deal, I believe, between the Tibetan government in exile and the Chinese leadership. So you might say, well, can Hillary do it? And I say, yes, she can.